Welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. This is
Luke Smith.
And we're getting ready to continue our Super Dungeon Explorer playthrough. Now, if you've been watching as we've been making these, you would have noticed we were gone for about a week. No, I wasn't in jail. Luke wasn't on a crime spree this time. My computer just wasn't working, so I had to get some new parts, get it fixed. Of course, if you're watching this months later, you wouldn't have noticed any break at all. So let's not talk about this ever again. All right, when we come back, we're going to continue, and it's going to be the Deep-Root Druids' turn. This player move was submitted by Xylon Lionheart. Luke, tell us what he wants to do.
He wants to use the shapeshift and turn the Angry Bear into Deep-Root Druid.
Well, that's pretty good, Luke. So now it's my turn, and I'm going to bring it...
Actually, I'm not finished.
Oh.
Mister.
Okay. Well, what else is there?
I'm going to move the Deep-Root Druid over Candy and Cola.
Okay, so 2 spaces.
And I'm going to use the Strangle Thorn.
Okay, and where are you going to target?
The Flinger.
That's right. Now, the idea here is Xylon Lionheart wants to hit the Flinger and potentially, remember it's a burst attack, hit anything else that's also nearby. Oh. So the Dragon Priest and the other Flinger might get hit.
My magic lets me use my will, and I have the Rune of the Sage, which gives me an automatic...
Star.
That's
right.
Star.
So go ahead and roll your will, which is a blue and a red die. No, not too bad. That's 3. This is really bad news for my Flingers because they both have 0 armor. So that's an automatic 2 hits and kills both of the Flingers. So these guys are leaving the table.
Yes.
But I do get to roll armor for my Priest, which is also a red and a blue die. And I got 1 star. 1 star is not enough.
Yes.
Now, not only do I take a damage, a wound to my Priest, but I also receive both fragile and poison on my Priest because of the equipment and abilities of the Deep-Root Druid. So, things are off to a terrible start for me on so many levels. First of all, my Dragon Priest is inflicted with a bunch of statuses. I just lost 2 monsters. But Luke also rolled a heart when he did that attack, and he hit 3 different monsters. Now, my understanding of the rules in that situation means a heart would pop out of each one of those monsters. I read the rules over a couple of times. That does seem to be what's going to happen here. And right now, you only have wounds on Candy and Cola, and guess how many wounds she has? Exactly 3. So go ahead and remove those 3 wounds. And if that wasn't enough, those 3 hits are going to move the lootometer 3 spaces. I know you can't see it here. It just went past a loot. And then the power gauge is going to go up 3 spaces as well. 1, 2, 3. I get to collect a skull, which I'll do. And Luke, go ahead and collect a loot. Let us know what you got.
I got the Rune of the Org?
The Rune of the Ogre.
Oh.
And that gives a +1 red die attack. It's a yellow card. You can equip it to any of your heroes. And because we're going to end this episode after the monsters take their turn, you guys can help us decide where to equip this loot card. Now, the Royal Paladin is already carrying a yellow equipment item, but Candy and Cola isn't, so it could go on her.
Don't forget the Gem of Greed on the Deep-Root Druid. He can have 2 of any color.
That's right. So your options are Candy and Cola, who doesn't have a yellow item, or the Deep-Root Druid, who already has a yellow item, but can also carry a second because of the Gem of Greed.
And I have 5 more movements, so I'm going to go here.
All right.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Here, I'll move these out of your way. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm heading for that spawning point, Dad.
That's Mr. Console to you.
And the last thing I'm going to do is use my Nourishing Berries Potion.
Now that gives the healer ability to all heroes until the Druid's next activation. And to help me remember that, I'm just going to put these little generic tokens by our heroes. That means they have the healer ability. Alright, so now it's my turn as the console. And I get to activate 4 skulls worth of monsters. Now I wanted to activate my Wormling here, but this is really annoying. He's got slow on him right now, which means he can only move half of his normal movement. And I wanted to come over here and attack one of these guys. I cannot get there in that distance. So the only choice if I'm going to attack somebody is the Deeproot Druid. And the poison means he only gets 1 action, but that's okay. I only need 1 action. So I'm going to turn around here, and I'm going to attack the Deeproot Druid. So my attack is 2 blue and 1 red. And I got 2 stars. All right, Luke, what can you get?
More than that.
Not more, but just enough. 2 stars. All right, with my remaining 2 skulls, I'm going to move the Iron Scale 1 space right here, and I'm going to attack the Deeproot Druid. So I'm rolling a red and a blue, and I got 1 star. And Luke's giggling here at me. Think you can beat that?
Yeah.
Yes, apparently you can. I'm going to try again, Luke. So here we go. Red and blue. 2 stars this time. And only 1 star, Luke, so I do get a hit. So that's a wound on the Deeproot Druid and 1 step closer on the power gauge. And then my Iron Scale is going to move 2 spaces right here. Okay, creating a little wall here to cut off the Druid from the rest of the heroes. Now that's 4 skulls worth of monsters that I just activated, but the heroes have already activated all of their models, so I get to automatically activate all the rest of my models, which I'll do now. So I'm going to start by moving my Wormling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to do a double move here. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. I'm going to stop there, right next to the Druid. And then my hatchling is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then move again 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like that. And then here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. I think that's what I want to do. Yep, like that. And that's the end of the round. But now some interesting things happen. So the first thing we have to take care of is moving the Ludometer back to the start. And look, I'm 1 step away from super. I'm actually really glad. Now, I didn't really want to miss when I was attacking when I did, but my plan was to only hit once. Because if I hit again, I would have gone to super mode. And that would have meant my spawning points wouldn't have been able to spawn monsters anymore. Of course, the big guy would have come out, which would have been nice, but I would have wasted all these extra skulls. So I wanted to be able to spawn 1 more time, dump a few more monsters in, maybe bring out Rex, and then next turn we'll get on to into the super mode. Now the other thing that happens after you reach 16-bit, because this is the round we reach 16-bit, I get to draw 2 loot cards and then pick one of them, and all of my minions and denizens, that's all the small guys who aren't mini bosses or bosses, they get that ability. I got the Wizarding Wand, which gives a +1 blue die to will, and the Frozen Falchion, which gives a +1 blue die to attack. Not a tough choice. I'm going to go with the +1 blue die to all of my attacks when using my minions and denizens. Very useful when you're rolling against someone like this. And then the Wizarding Wand gets shuffled back into the loot pile, which I'll do now. So because we passed the 16-bit marker, that of course means that I can bring out Rex, the mini boss. I will probably do that. Now you guys have to equip your items, but rather than wait to do that, I'm going to actually spawn out my monsters now. And as promised, bringing out Rexy. So I'll put Rexy there. Wow, there's barely room for him. I crowded all these monsters in here around the Druid. Okay, so he's there, dangerous and mean looking, and costs 4 skulls. So that's all that's coming out of this spawning point. All right, and for my last 4 skulls, if you didn't know already, Knuckleheads are my favorite. I love these guys, so I'm going to spawn out 3 of them, and I'm also going to bring out a Gouger, because the Gouger has reach, and it's getting pretty crowded, and I want him to be able to reach through some of those baddies and to be able to do some damage too. So I'm bringing out those 4 skulls of monsters. And now Luke and I are going to roll initiative for the start of the next round. I get to roll 3 blue dice, and I got a fantastic 0 stars. Luke, this shouldn't be hard to beat, bud. No, not hard at all. So once again, Luke shows no mercy with the dice rolling.
Yep, no mercy for you.
No mercy for me. Well, look, we did things a little bit out of order here because you guys still have the Rune of the Ogre to equip, which would normally happen. Oh, I just thought of something. I have these 4 skull tokens left over, which I can spend. And I have 3 monsters left over. So, yeah, I'm gonna bring in some more monsters right now. Actually, unfortunately, I don't have 4 monsters that I can bring out. So I'll just bring out the 3 that I have. And here's the other problem. There's no space around here. So I'm gonna put a Flinger here, a Gouger here. Oh, brother. And this guy's gonna have to go back here because there's no space around that spawn point. Okay. So now we're done. You guys let us know where to equip that item. And then, since it's your turn, you guys should maybe vote on which of these heroes is going to activate first, and then what you want that hero to do. And whatever gets the most votes, that's what we'll go with. Things don't look very good for the heroes right now, but we do have a saying in our family, Smiths
don't quit.
And neither should you. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Until then, thanks for watching.